Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, again, I'm gonna use ChatGPT to practice some grammar topics. And like previous videos that I recorded, I'm gonna use this book as my main source, one of my favorites, and I will use ChatGPT to practice speaking. Today's topic is simple past tense. If you are ready, let's start. Let me go over it. Hello ChatGPT, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Today, I want to practice simple past tense with you. Are you ready?
Absolutely. I'm ready when you are. What would you like to practice first?
All right. I want you to start from the basics. First, tell me what simple past tense is. And after that, I want you to practice some sentences, basic sentences with me.
Sure. The simple past tense is used to talk about actions or events that happened and were completed in the past. It's often formed by adding ed to the end of regular verbs. For example, I walked to the store. Now, let's practice some basic sentences together. How about you try forming a sentence using the verb to play in the simple past tense?
Okay, I played the piano last week.
Great job! That's a perfect example of the simple past tense. Now, let's try another sentence using the verb to visit.
All right, I visited let me think about it. I can't think of any examples. Can you help me?
Of course. Here's an example. I visited my friend yesterday. You can use visited with any place or person you went to in the past. Would you like to try forming a sentence with that verb now?
Sure. I visited my best friend last week in Istanbul.
Excellent. That sentence is perfect. You're doing really well with the simple past tense.
Thank you. Now, can you also introduce 5 more verbs that I can use to make simple past tenses? After each verb, I want you to ask me a question to make a sentence with that verb.
Sure thing. Here are 5 more verbs: to watch, to cook, to read, to travel, and to call. Let's start with the first one. Can you make a sentence using the verb to watch in the simple past tense?
Sure. I watched TV last night.
Great job. Now let's try the next verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to cook in the simple past tense?
I cooked my favorite food last night.
Perfect. Now let's move on to the next verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to read in the simple past tense?
All right. I read a book last night.
Nicely done. Now let's try the next verb. Can you make a sentence using...
I've got a question about the verb read. What is the correct pronunciation of the past form of the verb read?
That's a great question. The past form of the verb read is spelled the same as the present form, but it's pronounced differently. The past tense is pronounced like read, while the present tense is pronounced like read.
Okay, got it. So in my sentence, I should have said, I read a book last week.
Exactly. You got it. Now, let's move on to the next verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to travel in the simple past tense?
Sure. I traveled to Dubai last year.
Great sentence. Now, let's try the final verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to call in the simple past tense?
Sure. I called my best friend in the morning.
Perfect. You've done an excellent job practicing the simple past tense. If you have any more questions or want to practice more, just let me know.
Sure. Now I want you to practice 5 irregular verbs with me.
Of course. Let's practice with some irregular verbs. Here are 5: to go, to eat, to see, to take, and to write. Let's start with the first one. Can you make a sentence using the verb to go in the simple past tense?
Can you give an example and after that ask me a question to make a sentence with that verb? Because I'm not very sure about these verbs.
Sure. For example, you could say, I went to the park yesterday. Now, can you try making a sentence using the verb to go in the simple past tense?
Sure. I went to university yesterday.
Great job. Now let's try the next verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to eat in the simple past tense?
Can you make a sentence first? And after you, I will make a sentence.
Of course. Here's an example. I ate breakfast this morning. Now can you try making a sentence using the verb to eat?
Sure. I ate lunch last night. No, not lunch, dinner. I ate dinner last night. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. You've got it. Now let's move on to the next verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to see in the simple past tense?
What is the past form of see?
The past form of see is saw. So, for example, you could say, I saw a movie last night. Now, can you try making a sentence using the verb to see?
Sure. I saw a good movie last week.
Great sentence. Now let's try the next verb. Can you make a sentence using the verb to take in the simple past tense?
What is the past form of the verb take?
The past form of take is took. So, for example, you could say, I took a picture yesterday. Now, can you try making a sentence using the verb to take?
Yes. I took a photo with my mobile phone yesterday.
Almost perfect. Just a little adjustment. The correct form would be, I took a photo with my mobile phone yesterday. Great job.
That's what I said. Didn't I say I took a photo?
You did say that, and you were absolutely correct. My guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
Sure, that was good. Now, how about negative forms with these verbs? Can you also practice some negative forms with me?
Of course. In the simple past tense, the negative form is created using did not or the contraction didn't, followed by the base form of the verb. Let's practice with the verbs we just used. I'll give an example, and then you can try one. For to go, an example would be, I didn't go to the park yesterday. Now, can you try making a negative sentence using the verb to go?
Sure. I didn't go to the cinema yesterday.
Perfect. Now let's try the next verb. Can you make a negative sentence using the verb to eat?
Can you give an example?
Sure. An example would be, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. Now, can you try making a negative sentence using the verb to eat?
Sure. I didn't eat breakfast in the morning.
Excellent. That's correct. Now let's try the next verb. Can you make a negative sentence using the verb to see?
Can you give me an example?
Certainly. An example would be, I didn't see my friend yesterday. Now, can you try making a negative sentence using the verb to see?
Sure. I didn't see my mother yesterday.
Perfect. You're doing really well with these. Now, let's try the next verb. Can you make a negative sentence using the verb to take?
And how about your example first?
Of course. An example would be, I didn't take my umbrella this morning. Now, can you try making a negative sentence using the verb to take?
I didn't take my umbrella last week.
Great job. Now let's try the final verb. Can you make a negative sentence using the verb to write?
All right. I didn't write any letters yesterday.
Perfect. You've done an excellent job practicing the negative forms. If you have any more questions or want to practice anything else, just let me know.
Sure. Thank you so much. You helped me a lot.
You're very welcome. I'm always here to help. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Good job. That was very good. All right. Just in this video, I wanted to practice some basic structures of simple past tense. As you have noticed, I focus on specific instructions. And then, if I didn't know any, for example, structures, or if I didn't have any examples, I asked for clarification, I asked for extra examples, and so on. So I could just communicate, and I could, let's say, collaborate with AI. Now, I want you to do the same thing and write in the comments below and share your experiences with me. And tell me what you would like me to do for the next video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss my next video. Thank you.